everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to JIRO and CHI's English podcast. Thank you for listening. And always, like we always say, leave a message, leave us a comment, and most of all, subscribe. Hit the button. All right.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining us today, and we are going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Japan entering finally letting go of floppy disks. Maybe for some of our listeners, if you're not over the age of like 35, you probably don't know what a floppy disk is, huh? Because I mean, it's something that goes back.
Yeah, most young people don't know about what the floppy disks are. I think so. You should explain about it a little bit.
Yeah, floppy disks are just things that It was a form of to keep memory, pretty much to save. Like before USB, what do you call them? The little flash drives. We had CDs, DVDs, and before that we had floppy disks.
Yeah. I think it was the mainstream before the CDs and MDs and all that. And then is it before the what you call it, LPs, like on vinyl records? Is it different stuff?
Yeah, it was after. Oh. Those vinyls weren't used to keep, keep like data, right?
Yeah.
They were used for music, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these floppy disks. I mean, I don't know if you can remember back in the '80s, they had the little thin, like they were really floppy. Do you remember the ones, the black ones?
Yeah.
They're about the size of a CD. And these things, if you held a magnet to it, you just erase the entire thing.
Yeah.
They're vulnerable to pretty much everything, huh? But they developed into actually hard disks, right? Where they weren't floppy anymore.
Yeah.
They're still called floppy disks, but they could hold up to how much memory could those things hold? Do you remember? Like the little 3.5-inch floppy disks?
I have no idea, man. Seriously.
Well, not much, because I remember back when I was in university, we would use these floppy disks that held only up to like 100 megabytes. So I think these other floppy disks probably held less than like 50 megabytes, huh?
I mean, have you ever actually used floppy disks? Because I've seen the older people using them, but I never used them in person. So.
Yeah. They were used throughout the 90s, right? I mean, you used to see them in movies. I mean, they were used quite often, huh?
Yeah.
Before the invention of CDs, I mean, that was what everyone used, right?
Yeah.
But I guess the question is, why has Japan been so stubborn about not swapping over to storing their information digitally like everyone else,
right,
on cloud?
Right. I mean, it's probably because of kind of the mindset and then bureaucracy, I guess. Some people still don't use the fax machines as well, right? So seriously, I'm not sure if there's someone who uses floppy disks, but people still sell machines that read floppy disks. I don't highly
really
doubt it.
I don't know about
it. So but I think the problem is that many government agencies simply never upgraded from the old machines like fax machines and stuff like that. I mean, if it works, it works. That kind of mindset, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think fax machines were mainly, I won't say it was used exclusively in Japan, but it wasn't commonly used in the States. I remember at some places you could find fax machines, some offices, but it wasn't ubiquitous, you know what I mean, as it is here in Japan, where everybody had one. I remember when I first came to Japan, people were still using it at convenience stores. You remember you'd pay money to fax something?
Yeah.
I was like, a fax machine? I gotta pay, 100 yen for this? This is ridiculous, right? Send an email, you know what I mean? So, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. I mean, some old people still cannot use the, emails and simply just, computers.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, I guess, computer illiterate people out there. I mean, especially the old people who are never touched a keyboard before, huh?
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, fax machine died in the States a long time ago, man. I mean, the fact that the Japanese government finally, closed its doors on this chapter. I mean, it took them this long. I mean, 2024, and they were still using floppy disks to store information. Like, not only is that like, I think funny, but it's also very like risky, don't you think?
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
because these things are not exactly like durable. Like if you dropped it, you could break it. Like
Yeah,
or if you store.
yeah. And also they're quite kind of prone to mechanical the failure, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm kind
exactly.
of stunned that anyone in this world is still using them at any level.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah,
If it's not stored properly, I mean, you could destroy like obviously very valuable information. Huh? Apparently.
yeah. But I mean it kind of makes sense to me, like because when you look at the demographic, like 30% of the Japanese population is 55 plus years old, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that is kind of why people still use all tech kind of stuff from major companies
Mm-hmm.
and governments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, as a Japanese, I mean, I'm kind of amazed, and at the same time, and I'm curious, like as to why in a country like Japan, like
Mm-hmm.
as another advanced as Japan, it's still choose to use the these kind of outdated technology. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because I've never used floppy disks, and I
Yeah.
never imagined that someone still using these the stuff. Because
Uh-huh.
I mean, when I look at my like a computer, it doesn't have a CD drive anymore.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah, right. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does have. I don't see any benefits. I guess, huh? I mean, there's no benefits to this, right? I mean, you're talking about like they could easily just sort of pull the information from these disks and put it on their store it safely, but maybe it was just a hassle, huh? I mean, I don't know. The government
yeah.
moves very slow, obviously, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that government goal, that their goal
Mm-hmm.
is to just modernize it to bureaucracy, and then
Mm-hmm.
like in 2024, like
Mm-hmm.
like getting rid of floppy disks.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it kind of crazy? Like we we're talking about floppy disks in 2024.
Yeah, well, let's give it some background here. Like, I mean, these 3.5-inch floppies, floppy disks were, I mean, like I said, they were everywhere. I mean, during the '90s, right?
Yeah.
Where they reached 5 billion were used in 1996. Okay,
Dang.
but and I mean, some companies couldn't keep up with this, huh? But by 2011, that's what, another 15 years. I mean, Sony had stopped making it, which is one of the biggest manufacturers of floppy disks, right?
Yeah.
So in that span, I mean, I think. Do you remember when you first started seeing these little thumb drives? The little I started seeing those back in the mid 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I remember like when I first saw it, I was like, "What the hell is that?" People were like, "Yeah, these are thumb drives. You can store information on these things." Huh? I'm
Yeah.
like, "Well, that's cool." You know what I mean? And they started out with like 100 megs. You're like, "Oh wow, look at this! I can store 100 megs worth of information on this." Now these things grow into like what, a terabyte, 2 terabytes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, dude. Yeah, it's amazing, dude. So I mean, it just shows you just the speed of like technology, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think I would say most of the world is welcoming Japan to the 21st century, and so I mean, this makes me think, if the government is this slow on like adapting to like new technologies,
Mm-hmm.
what else are they like keeping out what else are they behind in, you know what I mean,
What else?
like this is.
I think this is because of kind of Japanese culture, you can say. Like
Yeah.
probably Japan was advanced in the 80s or probably 90s, but
Yeah.
But we have been kind of stuck in the past, and because we still use on what you call it, a seal, like when we sign contracts and we still stamp seals and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We still use that a lot, and then
That's important. I think that's a cultural thing. It's like a signature, you know what I mean? Like in the States we'd sign, but here in Japan you use a stamp. I think that's not related to technology, right? I mean, I think that's something that's traditionally that's been used as a...
But yeah, I mean, if you look at it from our efficient perspective, and I mean it's kind of pain in the ass, and to just stamp seal, and it's just it works for sure, but you can use an adapter to just change the environment, and you can use e-signatures and kind of stuff, and I do that a lot, when I sign contracts and stuff, but
I mean, if there was one point where I think Japan needs to speed up is I think they need to help these smaller businesses to adopt new payments.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. Because I mean, you can't ask these 80, 90-year-old people who've owned this business for decades to suddenly here start using PayPay. They have no idea what it is, right? But I think because when you go to the small towns, you know what I mean, and you're traveling out there, a lot of those people don't know what PayPay is, or any other kind of that barcode payment, right? So, but I mean, in the States, I mean, they last time I was home, I mean, anywhere you went, you could use barcode payment. Apple Pay is probably the most popular one.
Right.
And I think that's great. I mean, we went from cash to credit cards back in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Straight. I mean, so I mean, I think I said, even credit cards are becoming they're starting to I think disappear because people are using just their phones to scan. And,
Yeah. I mean, it spread, very quickly, in the Japanese market. Because when I came back from Australia, I think 2019, it wasn't available at all back then. But in the last 4 to 5 years, and it's already widespread, and people use it as a just as a normal stuff, and then it's very convenient and great. I love it. So we have to just speed up a little bit, and then just adapt the change environment, in terms of this storing the data and kind of stuff. We should get rid of this floppy disks, and
Yeah, well, you can thank Taro Kono, who was the Japan's Minister for Digital Transformation.
Yeah, he's nice.
Apparently, he declared a war on this back in 2022. So I'm glad that Japan is, like I said, into the 21st century. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what they do next. So
yeah.
Okay, and for everyone out there, I hope you guys are also you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any ideas for any new shows you'd like to hear about, please let us know. We would love to hear from you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is it for JIRO and Chi's podcast today. I'm Chi, and
this is JIRO. So if it, like I said, if you have any topics you'd like us to cover, then feel free to drop us a message. And until then, just take care.
Okay, signing off. Okay, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
ジローとチーの英語で雑談を聞いてくださり本当にありがとうございました。質問や感想、ポッドキャストで取り上げてほしいトピックなどありましたら、概要欄のリンクにてご連絡お願いします。また、このポッドキャストを聞いて少しでも良かったなと思ったら、お聞きの媒体にてぜひ良いレビューをお待ちしております。
Thank you for listening to JIRO and Chi's English podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like us to discuss on the podcast, let us know through the link in the description. And if you enjoyed our podcast, leave us a positive review on the platform where you listen to it.
では皆さん、次回のエピソードでお会いしましょう。
Looking forward to seeing you guys again in the next episode. Take care and see you guys later.
Bye!